Well, it has been 2 months since an explosion leveled several homes in northwest Baltimore. Tragically, some died, some survived, some are still fighting to recover today.
One of those fighting is a man named Terry James, a loving father, going through surgeries every week, was using an iPad just to communicate at one point. Burns all over his body and the loss of both legs.
Now, his family hasn't spoken about his heroic fight to survive, that is, until now. We want to warn you, some of the images of Terry's injuries are graphic. What would you do if you woke up and your life shattered literally into pieces? For Terry James, it happened in an instant. It was that blast on the morning of August 10th that rocked a northwest Baltimore neighborhood. 3 homes demolished along Labyrinth Road, killing 2, injuring several others, including Terry, shown here as rescuers carefully carried his still burning body from the rubble.
That's my son, my brother, my nephew. All of the above.
And for the first time, Terry's family is speaking out only to WJZ.
I live by a motto. Everything happens for a reason. Lord knows I'm still looking for the reasoning.
Sharing the haunting memories of that summer morning when they first got word of the explosion. What's going through your mind at that point when you get that call and then you see on the news that his house is one of those that exploded?
All I could do is say, Jesus. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. That's my son.
Horror that led to the hospital with Terry lying on the surgery table.
The first call I got was them telling me it was an emergency and we gotta amputate him. That was the first call I got, but at least I realized he was alive at that point. He had enough wherewithal, enough sense to say, hey, please call my uncle, and gave him my phone number.
Within hours, Terry lost both of his legs, had burns all over his body, and could barely speak due to burns internally.
87% of his skin was gone.
And a survival rate that doctors said was as low as 10%. As a mother sitting there, not knowing if your son was okay.
You have to trust, but at that time, I wasn't trusting nothing. It's like a dream. It's like a dream to me. And I'm going to wake up, and he's going to be back to normal.
How can you try to be encouraging when the doctors tell you got 10% chance of living? But I got to try to be encouraging. Tell him to keep fighting. And I know it's a lot for him mentally because it's a lot for me, and I'm not going through it.
But that's exactly what Terry did. Fight. An all-star father who loves basketball and wanted to open up his own construction company. Released from the hospital October 7th, recognizable again, and now speaking on his own.
I am a survivor.
Amen.
A true Baltimore miracle.
Less than 2 months. Less than 2 months. Great job. Pretty good.
One of the doctors actually told me that he would be able to run and jump again. I said, jump? Awesome.
But the financial burden of what's to come next is unfathomable.
To be financially prepared, we have to change our home for it to be accessible to him. That means widening doorways. We got to make the shower accessible for him, for his bedroom, the entrance to the home, on top of medical bills. And then the foreseeable future, his around-the-clock care that's going to need to happen.
While the James family is now asking for the public's help, the investigation into the cause of the explosion and how this all happened is still being pieced together.
While this is a tragedy, it was not an act of God. Our goal certainly is to figure out who is responsible.
More than a month later, still no answers, and an uphill battle for the man they adore. But even the unimaginable and a burden like this can't shake the faith of the James family.
If you believe in a higher power, you believe that it's a grander scheme than just you. But I don't believe he deserved this, and I don't know what the plan is. But I'm hoping that we come out on the good side of it.
And WJZ will continue to follow the fire investigation into what triggered the explosion that has simply changed Terry's life. If you would like to help the James family, we have a GoFundMe page posted on our website, WJZ.com.